So if magic doesn't work, let's look at some elements and aspects on the recovery. What does work? I mean, how does the river flow through us? We know a lot of the key elements. You know a lot of the key elements, and so you don't really need me to review all of those for you. And in the brief time left, I can't do a fair delineation of them anyhow, so allow me to touch on some of them far too quickly to do full justice, but just to look at them. First of all, whatever you think of the legislation that came out of the call to action in the Interim Operations Team Report, IOT, at General Conference, we have got as a denomination the Adaptive Challenge right. So look at this on the screen. The Adaptive Challenge is to redirect the flow of attention, energy, and resources to an intense concentration on fostering and sustaining an increase in the number of vital congregations effective in making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. However you come out on the rest of the stuff at General Conference, I submit to you that we've got that adaptive challenge correct, just as we've got the mission correct. Imagine for a moment that you don't give a rip, I mean not a rip, about local churches or new people becoming disciples and Christians. Imagine for a moment that your sole motivation is to increase the ways people are engaged in various ministries of love, justice, and mercy. One of the most profound ways you can increase ministries of love, justice, and mercy is to grow more vital congregations and new congregations. They really, 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 did I say really, go together. Now second, with the help of the laity at the 2008 General Conference in Fort Worth, my fair city, we added the vow of witness to our vows. And I think we have a template now that connects or fits the actions with the signs of vitality. So if we could show that next slide, the 5 practices of fruitful congregations interlink with the vital signs of congregational fruitfulness and faithfulness with the 5 vows of Methodism. Now the metrics and measurements aren't perfect. I'm going to say more about that in a second. But I want you to notice the way passionate worship and average weekly attendance deal with the vow of presence. And radical hospitality is a way of talking about evangelism and professions of faith and reaffirmations of faith. And it absolutely is that vow the lay leaders of the church gave us in witness. And intentional faith development involves small group discipling, Sunday school class, a reunion group, a prayer group, a Bible study, a host of different things. It's prayers, risk-taking mission and service, involvement in service beyond the congregation, a vow of service, extravagant generosity, total giving, our gifts in all of its various forms and aspects. Now, this is a brief slide trip on the metrics, which cause so much pain. Metrics must be interpreted with their narrative. Narrative is the background story, which helps us understand what is taking place. And usually, in fact, often, the narrative changes before the metrics do. Now, what does this look like? Well, a metric is a statistic, but a narrative is a story that's concrete and specific. A pastor and a congregation start discovering and sharing with each other stories of significant missional impact in living the purpose in their life together. Something like, do you remember when we helped that homeless family find a home and get back on their feet? Or you recall what it was like that Sunday Jimmy shared what a difference how different his life has been now that he's decided to follow Christ. Or can you believe it that our youth, instead of investing their life in the latest shopping tour of the nearest mall, poured it out painting a home for someone, or sharing the faith with a kid at school that others had rejected and left out. You see what I mean? A narrative, specific and concrete. The way we do it in our cabinet is we've got a room on that metric sheet where we invite people to write stories and narratives. Now, we're still trying to teach our clergy to do this right, because every now and then I get somebody who writes things in their narrative like, rained today. And I think to myself, oh, really, you've got weather in your town. You know, it's amazing. I mean, they got it in my town, too. They even got it up in Pennsylvania. They have weather. I mean, I'm just so shocked. Sorry. You know, a metric's an act of mission and ministry. It's a life transformed. It's a congregation engaged. It's a river flowing through it, for Pete's sake. And narrative is crucial to us understanding it. It's not a vague assertion. It's a tale of God in action in life and ministry of a congregation and individuals. In our use of vitality metrics, and we have to use them, we have to have the narrative with it. Now, I think there are a variety of excellent ways to get it at the ministry of transformation involving missional engagement. And some of them I know come out of this conference, for which you are to be congratulated for. In Central Texas, we're engaging in the Healthy Church Initiative pioneered by Bob Farr and Kay Catan. I know you've got it down. I saw it on your website that you're going to have a workshop on that. There are a number of other forms you can think of. I preached recently at the Greater New Jersey Annual Conference. I know Doug Ruffle there has got some marvelous stuff. There's Paul Borden stuff out in California. There's good stuff from all over. Here's the key. Just do it. All right? There's more good stuff out there now than we can track it. That didn't used to be the case. So now the key is pick something for Pete's sake, for God's sake, and do it. I am absolutely committed to the notion of a coalition of the willing. I mean, for starters, I don't know about you and your cabinet, but, you know, coercion doesn't work in our system. Okay? It really doesn't. So those congregations and pastors that want to get on board with faithfulness and fruitfulness, with vitality that lives the mission of making disciples for Jesus Christ and the transformation of the world, those that want to get on board, we're going to reinforce. And those that don't, God bless you, go ahead. We'll wrestle with and figure out what fits best in the ministry context of faithfulness. And as emphatically as I can say it, one size does not fit all. It really doesn't. Cookie cutters don't work here. We need to reinforce the willing and move on.